And we're back with some more Zelda, the Wind Waker. Man, I haven't played this game in about a week, but glad to be back. So, in my Bloodstained video, I mentioned the coffee that I got, with had the goat, the goat with 3 dicks on it. And I made a mental note to like get the name of the coffee. And yesterday I did, but well, I just made a cup before I started recording, and I forgot to double check it, and now I forgot what it was called. I'm quite frankly devastated with myself. Gram's all sad. I never noticed that pictogram in the back. It's neat. Wait, so there's like 2 beds, and one of them's a bunk bed, but there's no way to get up there. Who was the poor child who had to sleep in that top bunk? I'm guessing Link. So I've been feeling kind of crappy the past few days. My stomach has just like kind of felt really weird. Like I don't have like a loss of appetite or anything, but I feel like a cramp that comes and goes on my stomach, and it's very bizarre. So kind of haven't had much of a like interest in like recording, because on top of that, like kind of weird, I don't want to say it's like pain, because like it's not very painful, like it's more uncomfortable than anything, but yeah, on top of that, you know, I've been having like, I guess there's no way to like put it nicely, like I've been having like gas, like on and off with it too. So like I've been kind of burping a lot, like involuntarily, and I didn't want to record and start belching like some kind of slob. So that's kind of why I've only kind of started recording like in the past couple days. I'm used to having like recording a lot and like having like a decent backlog of stuff I can put out. But man, I can only really bring myself to record like a little bit at a time. Like the Bloodstain video, I didn't even make it to an hour because I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't. It's not like that I don't want to, but like, you know, how I'm feeling at the current moment is kind of poopy. Let's see if I can do this. I have to be more careful. Ooh, that was close. Now I really gotta focus. Man, that'll make your sphincter clench. Alright, now you can hit me. I'm a page. I'm now a knight. Ba, 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 ba. But yeah, I was looking at like I hate to do it because I know you really shouldn't. But when you have like any kind of like symptom, you know, you look up like WebMD, like just to see like what kind of like treatments, you know, like oh what like home remedies can I have like to get rid of this weird cramping feeling like on like the side of my stomach, and it's like you might have like all of these horrible conditions, and I'm like, oh well, like that's terrifying and I'm scared now. So I have all these things in my head of what I could have. And it's probably none of them. And it could very well just be like gassy. You know, maybe I'm like a little backed up. Which I kind of don't even want to say. Because that's like, I don't want to think about that or have anyone else think about that. Because it is a little gross. But, yeah. That's just kind of how it's been. So I'm thinking, like, if it doesn't like solve itself in like the next couple days, like I'll just go to the doctor. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you should just go to the doctor immediately. But like, I don't like going to the doctor, and like my friends had to go recently because of like COVID testing, and like they said it's like a real nightmare, like having to wait in line and stuff like that. So if I don't have to go, you know, if I can avoid it, just save myself like the time and the headache, like I'll put up with some discomfort for a few days. But yeah, if it's not like if it's not getting better, which it feels like it's been getting kind of better. But like if I don't think like I'm like really like getting better, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, I should go to the doctor. But I've always kind of been avoidant of doctoring, of the doctors, you know, of doing doctoring. It's just never liked that environment. Now everyone gets so crazy over like anything medical related. It's like just, I don't want to deal with that. Like yuck, yuck, yuck. I cannot buy bombs. I forget I got the bombs. Where's that other lady? There's like the lady with the carries the stuff on her head. So speaking of pirates and nautical themed games, I picked up Sea of Thieves for the Steam sale. Because you know the number one thing I needed right away was more video games, and the game's pretty fun, but I had a lot of issues today, like with crashing. Like I was trying to trying to fight this one guy. I can't remember his name now. Old Horatio. And he set my goddamn ship on fire. And he's a real asshole. And it basically killed me, sent me to the other side of the map after my ship was no more. And then I make it back to the island I was on, and he starts crashing my game because, you know, I was at a point where I'm like, all right, well, I'll just leave my ship back so we can't set my ship on fire again. And now I should probably be playing the game like with teammates, but no one I know has it or was available to play. So I figured I'd try to get a little bit of it on my own, just to kind of get a better idea of like the ins and outs of the game. Which now I really understand how to deal with fire, except sometimes it just doesn't work. I don't really get it. It was bad. I think I have the video. I can show you how awful it was. I don't want to interrupt this cutscene, so I'm gonna let this fish talk first, and then I'm gonna show you. All right, I'm gonna show you the video. Media source. I'm an OBS pro. Trust me. So this is what was going on. Yeah, so I was doing that for about maybe 10-15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, trying to put my ship out while I also had this asshole like killing me, and I was trying to fight him, and my ship burned down anyway. So that's how I kind of spent my day earlier today. But, you know, the pirate theme really just put me in the mood. I'm like, you know what? I gotta play some Wind Waker now. I could be doing the voices, but I kind of forgot what the voice for the King of Red Lions was. And it was, oh, her. I can only do that. Even then, that kind of turned into like Mr. Plinkett, like, great Jaboon, fuck movies, I watched Matrix Revolutions, fuck reboots, fuck movies. Actually, I have not seen that movie. I did watch Vine Sauce Vinny. He put out a video talking about No Way Home and Matrix Revolutions, and my friend was watching Matrix last night and was telling me about how bad it was and how like really stupid it was. And so it made me interested to see, when I saw that video, to see, you know, what other people thought of the movie. And it seems like general consensus... Oh, I don't want to do any of this. The general consensus is that it is not very good. It might, in fact, be the opposite of good. It might be bad. A lot of people were saying, like, oh, but it has, like, some merit. But I think that's, like... Honestly, I think that might be cope. I think some people don't want to, don't want to say that, like, Keanu was in a bad movie or something. I don't know. He was in that other movie. What the fuck was that movie called? Where he was, like, a husband who gets, like, tortured because the pretty girls came to his house and were like, hey, you want to cheat on your wife with us? And then he does. And they're like, okay, you're a piece of shit, so now we're going to torture you. That was a dumb movie. So, I mean, man's got to work. And listen, I'm going to be real. Also, I think a lot of people are still convinced that The Matrix is a good series, when the original movie's the only good one. Like, I'm tired of pretending that it's a franchise of quality. It is not. There's only one good movie, and everyone always says, oh, but the Animatrix is always good. I disagree. I don't even like the Animatrix. Though the Matrix Online seemed like a pretty cool idea. I never played it. I wonder if there's a private server for it. Because it's like that weird, like, early MMO jank. Oh, excuse me. I would definitely give it a try. If someone put a gun to my head and said, if you do not try The Matrix Online, here is a private server with players to play with. I will shoot you. It would be a very easy decision for me to make, to go, oh, okay, I'll play. I don't know why anyone would, like, do that. But, if they did, I'd be ready. Ah, this is awful. Whatever. See ya. So I had to get really used to, like, piloting my ship. Is that what you do with ships, with nautical boats? Do you pilot them? Actually, I took a creative writing class in college because it was my last semester, and so for my last semester, I had all my upper division credits done, and I basically just needed, like, gimme courses where, like, well, actually, no, no, I was, I'm dumb. I completely forgot my own history. So, my last semester was, I only needed upper division credits. And it could have been whatever, because I had all my major credits done. That's what it was. Jeez. And, I took, like, an upper division creative writing course. And, you know, the reason why I forgot is because this course was so piss easy. So it didn't feel like an upper division course, like, at all. Anyway. I took this creative writing course. It was, about horror. We had to, read, like, horror stories, and then we would, like, comment on, like, the different aspects and of horror, like, what type of horror, it was. We did, like, a lot of, like, subgenre analysis of like what, like, for example, like we had a whole unit on like cosmic horror. So we read an Lovecraft story, and I apologize, I don't even remember what story it was. And then we had to like in class we went over like what defines like a cosmic horror story. Then later in our assignments we would essentially we would analyze the story and say, all right, well, it has these elements and like that's why it can be defined as like a cosmic horror story. We watched The Thing. We did it like a lot of movie watching. We watched The Thing, and I'm trying to think of what that movie is. It has the famous woman. It's like the all-female team. Like they go into like a weird like field where like everything's like DNA mixes together. It's something with an A, right? I almost want to say it's like Armageddon. Oh god, it's like a science like team, but they're like military too. So they all have like guns. And like her husband like went into it and like he came out all weird and they don't even know if it's like her real husband. And I think by the end of the movie, like they don't even know if like they themselves are like if the woman who went in, like the main protagonist, if like she's even like her real self anymore, because like all the like DNA stuff like mixed together, like it's really wacky and cool. Annihilation, that's what it's called. Annihilation. Yeah, that was a cool movie. I did enjoy watching that. And it's actually perfect that I watched that for class, because it had been a movie I was meaning to watch for a long time anyway. And then I just didn't. So, kind of having to watch it for like a grade was the best excuse to kind of knock a movie off of my my to watch list. But anyway, the thing we had to do at the end of every unit was we had to write our own story. I think the whole thing was like we had like 5 units and we had to write like a story for 3 of them. Like, so you would write in the genres that you were most interested in, which worked out because you had like the whole semester to essentially like write 3 like decent short stories. Like the professor was like a writer, like he writes stories and like has published like books, and I think he mostly wrote for comic books, so depending on your take, he might not have he might not be the highest quality, but he was a really nice guy. And I think he was mentioning one of his books was like he was in talks for it to be like adapted into like a movie or TV show or something. I don't want to give away too much information, and I don't even remember too much of it either, so that's kind of perfect. But so the point is, I think he was good at judging like if a story was like half-assed or not, like if we actually put effort into it. So I wrote a cosmic horror story for one of my assignments, and I'm like, I had an idea, like I knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted to, originally it was supposed to be like on the ocean, because I was like, oh, you know, it'd be like kind of, because I will say like my favorite like kind of cosmic horror stories are like about people who are like stranded You know, like, so I really like The Thing, and I like the idea that like they were like kind of isolated in Antarctica on that like research base. So I was like, oh well, you know, imagine like being stranded out like at sea, like that'd suck. And then you have like, you know, something like like ominous, like it's like greater than you, like trying to like kill you essentially. And then, so I was like, all right, so what if it was like a search and rescue team, and or like something, or like, you know, like where they're trying to rescue like a vessel that's like out at sea. And then I realized that I know nothing about nautical terms, so I was like, how am I gonna write this? Like, do you like this is where like this comes in. I was like, do you pilot a ship? Like, what's starboard? What's like, I don't know any of this. And I had spent a lot of time like researching because I really wanted it to like be right. And I was getting to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it like a sci-fi story, and they're gonna be out in space, and it's gonna be a spaceship. That way, like, I've watched enough sci-fi movies where I know, oh wow, that's fucking useless. I have a full wallet. But, because then I know, like, other sci-fi stories that I've watched, or, you know, games that I've played, like, the ships always have, like, a pilot, like, and I know that, like, there's still a captain, and, like, I can at least get away with, if something's wrong, I can be like, oh, well, it's the future space technology that doesn't exist yet, and that's the word they use. You know, just to give myself a little bit of leeway. So I didn't have to try to hunt down all these terms to make sure, or double check everything, because I had to be my own editor. So, that was that. So I wrote a story about, so it kind of became like Aliens inspired, where there's like I guess like colonial marines types, like against like an unseen like entity that was summoned by like a cult that like was on the ship that they received like a distress beacon from. It's probably pretty generic, but I was focusing more on the quality of the writing than I guess like originality, like if that makes sense. I know originality is probably a big part of quality to a lot of people, but I'm more of like a technical, like when it comes to at least my writing abilities, I'll say. Uh, I'm not a super creative type, so to me it's easier to try to go with stuff that I know works and that I like, and then I can write something that's like technically good. And you say, you know, oh well, you know, I'm taking a creative writing course, but that's that's kind of the paradox of it, I will admit. But that was probably one of the more fun courses I took. I took another course while I was in college that I had to like write my own music. Like that was like it was like a music class where it was like the fundamentals of music, or whatever. And the final assignment was we had to write our own song, and I remember I wrote it and I was all set, and then I rushed out of my dorm room to make sure I made it to the final on time, and I forgot my like notebook that because we all had like notebooks of like music paper or sheet music paper, you know. So I had forgotten that fucking notebook in my room. It was right on my desk, and I was so mad at myself. And and everyone's like handing it in, and I was like, I handed my because we're supposed to hand it in with our final, so I handed my fucking final, and I'm like, listen, I'm really sorry. Like, I left my like because I handed in my final. Like, listen, I left my final test. Actually, you know, my exam. I was like, I left my final project like on my desk in my dorm room. It's a 10-minute walk away. Like, I finished my exam. Like, I've got plenty of time to go get it before class ends. Like, can I just run like real quick and get it? Like, I'll leave all my shit here. Like, so like I have to come back. And the guy was a dick, and he's like, you know, just put it in my mailbox. Like, and I was like, I had no idea where his mailbox was. So like, he told me like what building it was in. And so I go to the building, and I'm walking around for like half an hour trying to find where the fucking like faculty mailboxes are, because this guy wouldn't let me come back and hand it to him. So I was like, whatever, like. So I finally find the nicest woman probably in that whole building, in that whole department. And she shows me where the mailboxes is. Mailboxes are. And I put it in his mailbox. I finally find it. And we have like our next like class. Cause and we didn't have class that day. Cause it was finals week, so we already had our final, so there's no more classes. But he sends me an email, and he goes, "I didn't get your final." And I'm like, "You're kidding me." So I sent him an email, and I dropped all formality. Like, usually I'm very polite in my emails, and I'm very courteous, and I use lots of thank yous, I'm sorry, you know, like, I'm very courteous in my emails. But I was pissed, and my first thought, I'm typing this all out, and all I want to type is "fuck you," you know. Like, I was livid, and obviously I cannot type "fuck you." So I'm like, I put it in your mailbox like you told me to. Like, that's what I tell him. And then like 10 minutes later, I get another email, and he's like, "Sorry, I found it. Thank you." And I was like, this motherfucker. Like, I hate this man. So, that was like, I think my first semester. And I was like, I never want anything to do with the music program ever again. I remember that same guy. He would like, I don't. He was just an asshole. And I think my memories of like the class are clouded in me like being mad at him for pulling that shit up with me. Which, I mean, listen, I guess, like, he let me put in the mailbox, so, like, I gotta give him credit there. Like, he could have just said, nah, fuck you. But, like, I did it. So I was like, I can't not try. Like, and my roommate was a real fucking asshole. Because he complained about one of his professors, like, not giving him another chance after, like, he failed to, like, hand something in. I think it was, like, the 5th time. And he's like, man, my professor's such an asshole because he's not giving me, like, a 5th chance. And I'm like, bruh, like, you're lucky you got a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Like, but yeah, that guy, like, all he did was, like, smoke pot and sleep. And he'd smoke pot, like, in our bathroom. So, like, I'd smell it, and it was, like, all over the fucking suite. And I was the only person in my suite who didn't, like, smoke. So I was, like, every time I'd be like, hey, guys, like, can you not smoke pot, like, in the bathroom? Like, I was the odd man out, so it was like, you know, 1v5. Like, I'm not winning that one. And then this dude would not clean up after himself. His half of the room was a pigsty, and I really wanted to clean up after him, but I was stubborn. I was like, I cannot clean his mess, because then he's gonna think I'll clean it every time. And this man is older than me, and he needs to learn to throw his garbage out. And I mean, like, it was bad. Like, he'd leave, like, things of food out for, like, days, and I'd be like, so, hey, you gonna throw out, like, that bag, that greasy bag that your hamburger was in? And he'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, are you gonna do it, like, now? Because you should have done it, like, when you were done eating. And he'd be like, oh yeah, I guess I can do that. Like, I had to be, like, such, like, a passive aggressive, like cunt, and I didn't want to be. But the only other option was being, like an actively aggressive cunt, and I didn't know if I was, like, cut out for that. I would just, like, if I was in the dorm room, like, I was just trying to, like, relax and play video games, and, like, I couldn't even do that without him, like, snoring at, like, in the background. Like, so anyway, Zelda. That was actually a game I played in my dorm a lot, was Zelda. I played Breath of the Wild. That's when I first tried it on CEMU. On my gamer laptop that I got. And that was when I was, like, I think the most into Escape from Tarkov, which is really weird because Tarkov is a game that takes, like, a lot of time, I feel like. And I was kind of playing it at a time when I didn't have a lot of time. But, I mean, I was really into it. I think it's because I would turn the game up so loud I couldn't fucking hear that douchebag. I think my microphone just picked up my coffee sip, so I'm sorry about that. It hasn't been doing that. The noise gate has failed me yet again. And that's when I also played a lot of Dragon Quest. I don't know, I played a lot of games that were like serious time sinks when I was at a time where I couldn't sink a lot of time. I can't really wrap my head around that, but you know, it's whatever, I guess. Yeah, I think pretty much everyone's probably had just terrible, like, awful, like, roommates. So, like, I can't say that I have a very unique experience, but, man, does that, like, make the prospect of, like, living with other people, like, really something that is unappealing. I would say that much. It's like, yeah, you know, I could live with other people, but I think I've learned that I hate people. So this is the dungeon with the famous speed run trick. I don't know if I can call it. What do they still call it the Cosmo Hop? Are we allowed to call it that? Because I am of the understanding that Cosmo is not Cosmo anymore. I don't know if I'm wrong to use the name, even if I acknowledge that that is not who they are anymore. I understand, you know. I must say, listen, I know, like, Narcissa Wright has been, like, a bit of, like, a lolcow, because they've kind of gone mental and nuts. And I think almost resentful of, like, the speedrunning community, for the fact that they haven't really been more than the person known for doing, like, the Zelda runs. Which, like, I can understand, like, if you want to, like, move past that, but, like, everyone still wants you to know you as, like, the person who does the Zelda when you don't care about Zelda anymore. But, what I understand is there's a lot of kind of unpleasantry towards the speedrunning community in general, from them, which is sad. What I understand is there was some tensions even before the change. So also, I'm not really, like, too into, like, speedrunning or, like, the community, so I also don't know, like, the whole story about all that. So I don't know who's, like, in the wrong or in the right, so I don't want to, like, paint it as, like, if there even is anyone, like, who's right or wrong. You know, it could just be a situation where kind of everyone's an asshole, or no one's an asshole, but people are taking things in ways that maybe is not the way they should be taken. But yeah, I mean, I've watched a stream about Narcissa a while back. Um, if you're familiar with the, I guess it's a podcast, right? Mad at the Internet. It's run by the guy who runs the kiwi farms, which, I mean, I know that's gonna be someone who a lot of people will have a lot of different opinions about. So, and I will say that he is, for every time he's right, you know, Mr. Jersh, uh, he is also, like, he's got some really bad takes. But I do kind of enjoy listening to his awful voice. Like, which, I mean, maybe I'm not one to say much about other people having an awful voice, but, like, listen, he admits that he has an awful voice, so I'm not trying to cyberbully or cyber harass anyone. I'm just simply commenting on things that I know. So, sorry if anyone takes offense to me talking about these individuals. But yeah, he did a stream about Narcissa. It was one of the earlier ones, I think. And I mean, there was definitely a lot. It is sad, I think, their situation. It's definitely not without empathy. I think, again, between the whole, like, being known for, like, being the Zelda person, and you don't want to be the Zelda person anymore, like, that's gotta be really frustrating. But, I don't know, some of it gets, like, a little pathetic. Like, and I haven't, I mean, I haven't kept up with them, so I don't know, like, if they're doing any better. I hope they're doing better. Because there were a lot of streams of, like, reading, like, V threads about them and, like, crying. And that's just not healthy. Like, I don't think anyone should be reading threads dedicated to making fun of you. I mean, like if someone made a thread like making fun of me on an image board, well, I'd probably like laugh because first of all, I'm I'm literally who, like, but you know, that might be my big breakout. Like, yeah, wow, I'm big enough for people to want to hate me online. Damn. But once you get to that point where it's like that constant negative attention, I think that starts to do something to you mentally. And again, I don't think anyone really needs that. I think people are. I've spoken with my friends, where I maybe my view of things is a little warped. I'm not sure, but I feel like people are already kind of like nuts, like as a society as a whole. Like, I don't know, like the funny Joker society where, you know, but like society is like schizo, and we're all like going nuts because we can't handle how whack job of a world we live in. And like, it's not just like, what do you call it, like, it's not just like oh, you know, like modernity bad, like it's not like a return to tradition thing, but I think like, and this is going to be ironic considering that I make videos on YouTube, but like I think the constant social media presence that like everyone has, and like having all of that like accessible all the time thanks to smartphones. Like, you know, I'm a big Lane fan, so like, you know, it's like The Wired has seeped into reality, you know. Protocol 7, or is it Protocol 8? I don't remember, but you know, I'm gonna say Protocol 7 has happened, you know, but not in the way that the show depicts. All right, the internet has become one and the same with real life, and the consequences are disastrous because it has driven everyone fucking nuts. Everyone is insane. People with audiences who are just like normal people for the most part, who like live normal lives, and the only big thing is like they got big online because they did something. Like I'll use another person as example because I don't want it to sound like I'm focusing on this one person trying to bully them, because again I am empathetic. I do think that it would be great if they're doing better, and I would like to hear about them doing better. But I remember like when Total Biscuit was still alive, he would talk about how like he needed to go to therapy because he was obsessed with reading comments, but he always like hyper focused on the negative comments. So like it didn't do him any good. Like there was no constructive like feedback. It was just like hate. And I think people get like, again, people are already kind of nuts thanks to the internet and how pervasive social media is. But when people are bombarded with like that much like negativity about themselves from like strangers, like yeah, it'll drive you nuts. And I don't think anyone should be like looking at that. Like, and I'm not saying like people can't have bad things to say about you. People can't criticize you, you know, or you shouldn't criticize people. Like if you can criticize. I think critique is fine, but it has to come from a place of wanting to help someone grow and do better, and not just wanting to tear them down. And a lot of the, like internet discourse, when it comes to like big name people, is exactly that. They just want to like tear people down, and I don't think that does anyone any good. Like, do you even like? I understand. Like do you feel better? Like, if I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know anything about psychology. So like, I don't know. Like, this is all the observations of another person-driven schizophrenic by the modern world and the internet. So, but like, do people feel better like when they make like someone who is like, say, like famous, like if you make an celeb cry or like break down or whatever, you know, like does that really make you like feel good? Like I know like back in the day there was like the epic 24-hour ops like Eben Trollin that people would brag about, like, oh, you know, I went on B and we went on some girl's MySpace or whatever, and you know we trolled her so hard, you know, that she disappeared from the internet or whatever. Like that was like the old, you know, Wild West age of the internet, and I kind of, it's weird because I do feel kind of nostalgic for that age of the internet, where everyone was an asshole and everyone was like like it was like a Wild West. Um, and trolling was kind of an art, as terrible as that sounds. Um, but I think with the social media age and like people are like their real lives are so entwined with like their actual like real life identities. Like it's crazy. Like to me, I've always like I grew up being told like, you know, don't tell people on the internet like who you are and uh you know don't even talk to strangers. I don't think I can deal with this, can I? Don't talk to strangers. Don't jeez, that thing is brutal. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know. So a lot of like a paranoia. How the fuck do I do this? But yeah, I think that's like not a thing anymore. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like kids grow up like on the internet now, right? Like you know, the Zoomers are all on TikTok and Facebook. And, oh, I fucking went the wrong way. And like all this stuff, and like their online personas aren't just like a persona. Like it it is part of like their like actual like identity. Like it is their real life. And to me, like that's weird. But that's not like the internet I grew up with, but it's the internet that the internet has become. So to me it's very bizarre, and whenever I deal with like these kids online, you know, because these are the people you're arguing with on TV about whatever subject you are. These are the kids you're trying to gatekeep from your favorite anime on A. Like, and like they're so different. Like, and they have such different like sensibilities of like what the internet is and like how it operates. And to me, that is it's like kind of weird. I've felt older interacting with like Zoomers like than like I think I've ever felt like just like growing up. And like yeah, you start to feel older like eventually, you know, like but like once I think once the youth like don't even resemble you anymore, like I think I'm hitting that point where I'm like, oh my god, like the young people like feel alien to me. Like they say different words than me, like, and I think those words are stupid, and they listen to weird music. And what is this? A new song? Yeah, yeah. They listen to new music, and that's weird. And like they have like ways that they dress, and that's weird. Like I'm like, oh my god, like I'm getting old. And I'm not even that old. Like there really are people out there, like, and this is like, you know, it's so obvious, but like, are people out there who like their first like Super Smash Bros. Game that they're like, you know, now they're like really nostalgic for is it's Brawl, you know? And I'm like, that one sucks. Like, like Brawl was the worst one. Like, what do you mean your first Super Smash Bros. Game wasn't the original? Like, what? You can't exist. Did I miss something? Press ZR. Oh, okay. I thought I needed the song for them. Alright. Oh, anyway, that's something else. That's a later part. But yeah, I've come to terms with the fact that uh, I'm at this point, I'm closer to 30 than I am farther. So I'm gonna have to get used to that, I think. The kids online call me old man. And, yeah, it's traumatic actually. It's it's not actually traumatic, but I wanted to be over dramatic. And so I cope with this. I cope, seethe, etc. by playing games from my childhood. So I at least have that going for me. Yeah, get real used to this song playing this game. Especially the two dungeons with was it the Shadow Dungeon and the Wind Dungeon? I don't know what it is, but yeah, wintertime. Maybe this happens to other people, but wintertime kind of puts me in like an existential kind of mood. I deal with a lot of existentialism. I'd say, speaking of existentialism, that's a topic kind of covered in I took a college philosophy course because that's like one of those courses you take when you like need credits and don't know what else to fill the spot with because all the classes you wanted to take were taken. I'd say that was actually a way better class than I thought it would be, truth be told. But that is also the only, okay, not the only, but that was the first class where I definitely, like, dozed off. Like, it was a big auditorium. Really? Do I gotta... Yeah, it was a big auditorium. What do you mean there's nothing I can control? You're right there. Oh, I gotta call him first. Okay. My bad. I skipped a step there. But yeah, definitely, it was a big auditorium and a lot of people. And it was just your basic, like, bog standard lecture. PowerPoint slides. Very boring PowerPoint slides. Like, I'm talking, it was all just black text on a white background. It was like sensory deprivation. So yeah, I definitely had fallen asleep. Yeah. I did also fall asleep during that creative writing class because that was an online class. So we'd be doing something and I would just, and it was in the morning. I didn't want something in the morning, but it was all I could get. So there were a couple times where I turned my camera off and just sleep. This is why the dark nuts in this game are like dogs. Oh, I gotta dodge to the side. There we go. Another thing about like my favorite like classes that I took though. I think it's kind of a tough choice because there's my radio class, which I thought was really great. Wow, what? Something happened to me. Specifically, I think like because we had radio and we had radio 2, and so radio 2 we had a lot more freedom. And I really enjoyed that because I was pretty much like our projects we just had to, instead of like saying you have to have a project that does this, it was you have to have a project. Okay, so maybe I give like a better example. So like in Radio 1, it would be like you have to make like a news like announcement or something, or you have to have what's something else like that we did like a commercial, like advertising, like a community center or something, like, you know, like really like generic safe stuff. So with Radio 2 we got a lot more like creative freedom and that was like a lot of fun. Because it was just, as long as you make a project that's the time limit I want, and like you have to just write your copy and like record it on your own time, and like we'll spend the class time like critiquing people's works, and like, you know, so you can improve and stuff. So it was a lot more laid back and like kind of a relaxed like course. So I got into the groove of like pretty much writing like album reviews and like doing that. So I guess that's not really, yeah, I guess I don't need to do that. But then I also like I got eventually I got bored of like doing album reviews, because like the kind of stuff I wanted to talk about, like it's like I could play tracks from the music, but it was like if I won like a soundbite. Oh, excuse me. If I want like a good soundbite, it was kind of hard to like like really like get like a good one, um, because you still wanted to stay away from profanity. So, and I happen to like music with a lot of profanity, so it was a tough one. So eventually I started also I did something on I would talk about like weird like stories from the like the tech like industry, like just like oddball like historical stuff. Like um I did one on like the Atari Jaguar and how like well, actually, yeah, I first it was I did it on the Atari landfill. And in that I talked about the landfill and how like, you know, it became like sort of like this urban legend for like a while that finally got proven. And in it I mentioned, you know, other like Atari like weird oddities in like Atari's history, like how the shells of the Atari Jaguar, like the molds for them were sold to like a dental imaging company. So, and it was even like the Jaguar CD, like the mold for that was also used, and that was used to like, I think, maybe it was the cartridges. I don't remember exactly, but it was used to make like expansion like modules for like the imaging equipment. Like it's really bizarre shit. Like honestly, uh, so yeah, I talked about stuff like that. I think I did one on like Bonzi Buddy, because I really wanted to have like, it was just an excuse to have a Bonzi Buddy, um, like soundbite like in a project and get away with it. So I didn't. I think, you know, just, hello, it's I am Bonzi Buddy. Like whatever that voice is, I can't even do it. Like, so I think I also put in like a voice clip of because I was talking about like, you know, why is Bonzi Buddy like still popular today and stuff, and like one of the videos that I really enjoy talking about Bonzi Buddy was fuck like, you know, like Vinesauce Joel, or I guess it would be Vargskathor, but I don't speak whatever fucking weird Nordic language he speaks. So so I put a Joel voice clip in there, which again was just me going, can I get the funny Swedish chef man to like voice clip in my project and get away with it, like, and I kind of did. So I always tried to like sneak like memes or like oddball shit into my work because I was making the best stuff when I was having fun. And like being silly and like adding in like things that really like only I'm getting a kick out of was when I was, I think, doing my best work, like in all honesty. So that was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that. Though I will say, for my radio like 1 class, we had to do like a pre-recorded show where it was like we could either do like a music program or like a talk radio program and stuff like that. So I did mine on a music program, and we had to like edit in like commercial breaks and stuff like that. Like it had to sound like it like was recorded off like a real radio station. That was the whole point. To really get us used to like multi-track editing and sequencing and stuff in like Audition. So I did a music program dedicated to Eurobeat. So like all my like stainers and like sound effects and stuff were all like cars, and it was all about like, you know, like this is the station you want to listen to when you want to drive fast and stuff. So that was probably one of my favorite projects. Because then it was like I got to at least for that class, because I got to pretty much put in like a bunch of music that I like, and pretty much it was all like initial D memes and stuff. And again, like I said, my best work was always when I was kind of amusing myself and being weird. Well, I just knocked down my melatonin. Can't remember if I mentioned it in one of my videos or not. But the melatonin reminded me about how sometimes when I take melatonin, I get really weird dreams that are like really vivid. And that reminded me of the flesh elevators. I can't remember if I mentioned them in one of my videos or not. But yeah, that was probably one of the weirdest and most disturbing dreams that I've ever had. But somehow, like, I have like a thing where whenever I have like a scary dream, you know, like something that should be scary, like I never really like feel like scared like in the dream. It's always like when I wake up, I'm like, well, that was kind of fucked up. It was kind of the thing there. There were some definite moments in that dream where like I actually kind of like, remember feeling scared within the dream, and then I woke up and I was like, well, that was really fucked up. So that was definitely an interesting one. But most of the time when I have like a scary dream, like I don't really feel scared in it. A lot of times actually, especially when I play VR games, like if I have like a period of time where I'm playing like a lot of VR, like dreams will feel like a VR game. and my brain will be like, this is a video game. And then I'll be like, okay, so this is a VR video game. So I'll start bringing up like menus. Like in my dream, like it's really bizarre. Um like one time I was having like a particularly strange dream where I think there was, for some reason, like there was violence. Like people were like shooting at me. Like I think it was when I was playing too much Tarkov, and so I was having like a Tarkov inspired dream where I was like trying to like loot like some factory or whatever. Like and I was ratting, and it was real life, except it was a dream. And so I was like really like nervous about like running into like other people, and like people were shooting at me or something. So I remember I had also been playing a lot of like VR games, so I was like, wait a minute, like, and for some reason like Gmod rules were like applying. It was very fucking weird. So I was like, wait a minute, like I'll just spawn in like a better gun and like open up menu and like and I pick like big gun, number 77 or whatever, and I'm just like, all right, like now I win. And it just felt like video games, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm sure I would have been a lot more like fucked up about the dream if it didn't feel like a video game. So but I remember I woke up and I was like, why did I have VR in my dream? Because that's like the first time I really remember something like that happening. How do I... Because I have to call him over, right? But I cannot do this. Sir? Am I dumb? Can I bring this in? Will this work? Will not. Those rat bastards? What do I do? Yeah, I can't. This won't work. How do I get to him? Yeah, I can't figure that much. This is very bizarre. Alright, now, I don't want to do anything so unscrupulous as to look up a guide, but I'm really out of ideas. Okay, I'm just gonna say that the person who wrote this guide has way more hearts than me. Maybe I should do some side content. Oh my god. I'm a real goofy asshole, you know that? I forgot the Deku Leaf existed. Alright, that's all on me. Apologies for wasting your time. But I do want to maybe just do this... Oh, fuck. I want to do this whole dungeon in, like, maybe just one part. Yeah, there's I remember... I can't remember what I was talking about now. It's about dreams. Weird dreams. But I don't remember any of the ones I can, like, share now. So... Fortunately, that will have to wait, I guess. It might not ever come back. I feel like there was something else that I, like, wanted to mention, but the topic eludes me. I don't remember what it could have been. Oh. There's that, I suppose. I know that's probably the greatest thing to hear when you're, like, watching someone and they're hitting an hour and a half in the video and they go, you know, I don't really know what I wanted to talk about. I'm sure that's real encouraging. Okay, so I might have mentioned the and if I didn't, then I'm mentioning it now. The breakfast sandwich maker that I had received as a gift, and I've been putting in a lot of work with that. It's probably one of my, like, favorite things now, and I cannot stop making breakfast sandwiches. I had I had one for dinner because I didn't have one, like, for I didn't make brunch or something, so I was like, like, I'm gonna make. I had sushi for lunch, so I was like, because I have the place near me is a really great lunch special. So I was like, okay. So I had sushi. So obviously, it was kind of a filling lunch. So I'm still, like, pretty full. So obviously I should just make, like, a breakfast sandwich for for dinner. So I had, like, these small pancakes. I don't usually eat, like, frozen pancakes, but I was at the store and I saw them in the freezer and I was like, these seem like a decent size. So I decided to give them a chance. And actually, to be completely honest, those frozen pancakes were pretty good, and they were the store brand. Normally I wouldn't have expected that. So, because I'm very picky with my pancakes. Like, in all honesty, I don't like reheating pancakes. Like, if I make pancakes and there's, like, too many, I'm like, nah, I don't want I don't want any more pancake, like, in the fridge. Like, I'm gonna have to throw them out because, like, they're yucky. But so yeah, I felt like I was betraying myself by partaking in frozen pancake. But yeah, so I did that. I used that as the bread instead of like a bagel. And then I had these uh, like pre-cooked like sausage, like pork sausage like patties, which again like probably isn't the best, but the way this thing works, it's I wouldn't trust it with anything that wasn't pre-cooked, and it's not like I had like leftovers or anything. I guess that works. And then I put an egg on it, so it was like a little breakfast. And it was... you fucking assholes. And then yeah, I put a little bit of maple syrup on it. So like... it was almost like a... it's like a homemade like McGriddle, I guess. Way better. I guess the only thing that sucks is that like the real McGriddle, like the pancakes like aren't like wet with maple syrup. Like they kind of have that like as part of it, which I'm guessing has something to do with how they make the batter. So it was a little bit more messier, and you know my hands got a little sticky, but I mean it was still very good, and I think it was a pretty decent like thing to have like for like dinner. I just gotta figure out a way to get some veggies later. I think I have some carrots. Maybe I'll just snack on some of those. No, it's funny. I started off talking about like, oh man, my stomach hurts. I'm like, yeah, I had all this food because like it's not really hurting my appetite. Like I just like again, it feels like cramps, like, and it like comes and goes. So like right now, like I'm fine. Like earlier, more like when I started, like it was like kind of bothering me. But like now, like I feel fine. Oh, I got it. Holy shit. Uncle Andros. Yeah, he does damage. He puts in the work. He puts in the hours. I made the mistake earlier while I was driving. I like to sing along with my music in the car. And sometimes I get a little, I guess I get a little too into it. And if a song has like particularly like loud, you know, vocals, whether it's like screaming or kind of like yelly, like I will get into it. So my throat feels a little hoarse from that. You can thank the likes of Trent Reznor and other edgy rock bands or groups or whatever kind of music that is. Oh man, I have just enough arrows. I don't think I'm supposed to be. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be here. I got snot arrows. It's going so well, and then at the end, I flub it. I remember this dungeon feeling a lot longer when I was younger, but now I think now that I've grown sentient, video games aren't as hard. He keeps giving me items out of his nose. Alright, yeah, I have 6 heart pieces. Like I said, the guy in the guide that I looked up just earlier had way more hearts than me. So I think now, after this dungeon, is a good opportunity to really focus on some side content, maybe. So, the next part will definitely involve some exploring. Maybe I'll do that as like a stream. That might be fun. Because there might be a lot of downtime looking for things I can explore. So it might be kind of worth it to do a stream for that. You have done well. It would seem the gods have acknowledged you to be a true hero. But this does not mean your trials have ended here. I kind of want to do like... I can't really do a Sean Connery, so maybe I shouldn't try. But I'll do this, whatever this is. Once you have taken your first step into the world beyond the Rain of Light, you see shimmering in the waves before you. Your true trial will begin. It's more like Gruffler, right? Because you're like, oh, you're ready. Oh man, it's giving me Sea of Thieves energy right there. Just like my poor ship sinking. Music is so like mysterious. Oh. Oh. I'm just thinking the choir. It's just all the king going, oh, but like pitch shifted. Someone done that. I would love if someone did that. Oh, you're probably wondering where we are, aren't you? Unfortunately, there's not enough time for me to explain it to you now. Once you're able to strike down Ganon with the item you obtain in this castle, all will be made clear to you. Trust my words. See what awaits you in the castle. I like how like this area is like devoid of music. Gives it like such like a somber feeling. Everything's all frozen. Got a statue of Link. Snake's kind of looking like an A though. Like he's like, hey, Lamau. Money, money, money. Man, I don't know why killing floor is on my mind. Hey! The item you seek is hidden somewhere in this castle. To find it, you must find the entrance to the basement. But that entrance has been blocked by a mighty threshold, firmly sealed to prevent evil from gaining. The king's voice has changed so much. Do you know where to search and what you must do to open the hidden way? Hey! You will find a clue in the shape of the heraldry near where we arrived in the castle. You gotta do the Triforce. What's this way? Pom pom. Oh, okay. I always wanted to like explore this when I was a kid, but I mean obviously you can't. Oh, look at those crusty trees. Can I get a good look at them? Oh, I wanna see. Ah, Nintendo, you clever bastards. I wanted to see some of that crust. There's one. Yeah, I remember this puzzle kind of being annoying. Kind of more my fault than anything, but just like the way, like, moving triangles, you know. The triangles. Ah. The triangles. I don't know if that's like done with a singing bowl, but it kind of sounds like it, and it's like such like a neat sound. The Tibetan singing bowls. Oh, those are just kind of cool. Such like an interesting sound that like they create. It's the Master Sword. Hey! Excellent! To perceive such a puzzle and decipher it is no small feat. Now, take this sword that lies before you. It's none other than the Master Sword, the blade of evil's bane. It's the only sword that can banish Ganon from the world above. Oh, that was a little crunchy. Wow, wow, wow. Resident Evil has given me a complex about statues that move. I don't like them. Nothing personal. Just don't like them. Like how the music comes back once you unfreeze time. Kind of a shame that like they didn't have more like of the world to explore. Because especially with like the time being like frozen like that. Ooh. I think it would have been really cool to like kind of feature the Temple of Time. Like, you know, you maybe have to leave like the castle and like go to Market Town, and there you like, go, you see like the Temple of Time and stuff. That might have been really cool, but maybe there was like a something with the like size limit, like for the game or the disc. I'm gonna save, or maybe there was like a time constraint, and that kind of thing just wasn't like an option, or maybe creatively they didn't want to lean too heavy into the like Ocarina of Time nostalgia, even though like game directly kind of references the Hero of Time in a way. Also, I like for these guys, they're still gonna be frozen. Gonna wait for the cutscene to end. It's awfully courteous. I guess I thought, huh? A lot of fighting. Does anyone else remember the Zelda mod for Halo CE on PC? It was like they took the bow and stuff from Ocarina of Time, and like you even like use the bows like with mounted combat. That's a wild memory. I remember like a lot of like the Halo stuff that I used to like, I guess, watch online like when I was younger. Like a lot of that's been kind of like creeping into my head lately because I guess Halo Infinite and stuff. One that like a lot of the old machinimas I used to watch. I'm sure everyone at some point watched like Digital Fear or John CJG, which I was kind of like sad that like he, I mean, I can kind of understand why he doesn't like think a lot of his old work is like watchable, or like that's not good. Like he kind of, a lot of the series that I remember like really liking, like you know, he's publicly said like he hates. Which, you know, kind of sucks because I remember really liking Hard Justice, and he's like, yeah, that series sucks, you know. It's like, don't watch it, you know. And there's these really like low quality like re-uploads on YouTube, but I think they were already kind of low quality videos because it's the time they were made. But like, it's so weird going back and like seeing like videos with like the machinima intro. It's like, does anyone even like remember machinima anymore? I mean, obviously people do. But, you know, like it used to always hear people talk about like machinima.com, and now they're like a footnote. Like I don't think anyone references them. And it's weird too to think like I see people like talk about Rooster Teeth, you know? And like Rooster Teeth is known for like Achievement Hunter and Ruby. And it's like holy crap, like nobody cares about Red vs. Blue anymore. I used to, another Machinimator, is that what they were called? That sounds really like dumb. So I feel like I'm disrespecting someone if I refer to them as a Machinimator. Oh jeez. But yeah, one of the other like people that I used to watch like content of a lot back in the day was Guitar Master X7, which I think now he's just Lyle Wrath. I know for a while he was Lyle McDouchebag, but I guess YouTube was like, you can't call yourself douchebag. So I don't know if he, like, his whole shtick was he was really like kind of edgy with his humor. I don't know if he still kind of has that edge, or if it's kind of, if that edge has evolved in any way. Because if it was the same kind of humor, I don't know how much that would work, because it was like, it was still ultimately kind of potty humor. I mean, a lot of machinima, like, that was popular like a while ago, I feel like relied on the potty humor, like, and the curse words. Like, you could only be funny if you said, you know, the fuck word a lot, and made funny sex jokes and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's still a thing. I know he had a video where he made, I don't know if he was like making fun of, right? But like, he was pretty much just saying like, "Hi, I am Shadman. I'm drawing on my Cintiq really good." And he's like, but he's like, he starts yelling it. You know, he's like, I think it's like, "It is me, friend Shadman. I'm going to draw really fucking good on my Cintiq." And then he just keeps yelling, "I draw really fucking good on my Cintiq," like over and over. Which I think was looking back, it's kind of like, oh no, Shadman. But I think looking back, it's kind of funny, because Shadman drawing really fucking good is like a lie and a half. His artwork, I mean, I guess it's better than what I could draw, but I will say that technically it's not very good, sort of. And this is just gonna be me, maybe someone's gonna be mad, right? But I'm gonna say technically it's not that good. Morally, it is utterly objectionable. And I don't think it's that much of a problem that he's in prison now. In fact, I almost, like, I forgot he existed until I was thinking of that video. And then I forgot that someone mentioned, like, to me that he got arrested. And I was like, oh yeah, like recently they're like, oh yeah, remember how Shadman got arrested? And I was like, yeah, that happened like a few months ago. Like, I forgot about that. It was like I don't want to think about that. But he got, like, it was like drug charges, right? Like, and somehow not, like, some of the, like, considering the stuff he drew, you know, you'd think that maybe he would have gotten caught with maybe something he shouldn't have. So who knows? But yeah, you can't even like shit that used to be like innocent, you know, or even innocent. Maybe innocent's not the right word, but you know, like. But like shit where it's like you didn't have to think too much about it. Like yeah, guy made edgy artwork, but that was like about it, you know. Like now it's like, oh yeah, he got arrested for like really like heavy drugs. What am I doing wrong? Oh, there's one guy left. Fuck you. And then I just read an article yesterday that like the mangaka for the manga Please Tell Me Galko-chan, which I watched the anime of that a few years ago, and I thought the anime was pretty good. It was kind of funny, like for like you know, like short episodes. But yeah, the mangaka for that series got caught with some things that you know, you really shouldn't have. So I was like, well, that's just like completely tainted the series for me. Like I can't look at that and be like I appreciate it because like of who it was made by. Like when it comes to stuff like that, I don't really feel like you can separate the author from it anymore. Like if it's just someone who I think is like a douchebag, I'm like, yeah, I can separate like the art from the artist, but like when it's like a crime that heinous, I'm like, I I I cannot like support like this person's endeavors. Anyway, on that note, I think it's time we save and quit because we're getting close to 2 hours. So thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, you know, stick around and look out for more. And I guess I kind of hate doing the spiel, so I'll cut it short. Just have a good one. You know, take care.